from. But then again, we manifested it all. So we thank the Creator for His blessing, and also for besties in business. Yo, sit back, relax, and let yourself go with simply Naima and alter ego. These are trying times, so relax your mind. If you need some help, then drop us a line. We create a space where we can have good conversation, family, culture, business, race relations, giving birth to kings and queens, manifesting wealth and things. 2020 came and tried to give us mad action with no satisfaction, and now we all distracted, but still gotta hold our own, doing big boss shit, rockin' Nina Simone, a superstar in this compilation. Came to this universe to give you niggas motivation, but you still sleep, you niggas always on a vacation. But he's a creep, and that's the real life translation. You feel me?
I don't think they feel you, yo. We gon' get this bread and feed them till they full, yup. We gon' get this bread and plant the seeds that really grow. We do it to build and not for likes or for show. Expand your network, your connections will grow. Thanking the Creator from where all our blessings flow. We are innovators and creators, multifaceted, talented, beautiful queens. Most of all, confident and conquering dreams. Besties, gang gang.
We've all heard it before. Black don't crack. But what it can do is look ashy and dull and just as horrible and wretched. But not with Go Beautiful. Shop today. GoBeautiful.com. That's Go Beautiful with 2 L's.com, with luxurious vegan skincare. No sulfates, no parabens, no carcinogens, and eco-friendly. Get beautiful, honey.
Thank you for tuning in to Betsy's Building Brands podcast. If you're interested in being a guest or having your business advertised on our podcast, please send an email to podcastmanager@bestiesinbiz.com. After the show, don't forget to head over to Facebook and Instagram to subscribe to our page, Besties Building Brands.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Besties Building Brands. I hope you enjoy our intro and our commercials. So make sure you hit up Miss Crystal at GoBeautiful.com and get your skincare right, get your melanin popping. And also contact us at podcastmanager@bestiesinbiz.com if you're interested in being on the show. And welcome to our podcast where we highlight entrepreneurs, promote group economics, and push forth our initiatives in the community. Today we have a special guest, Miss Susan Charli. She is an author, playwright, powerhouse. She can introduce herself better than I can. So let's just get started. Introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about your business.
Hey y'all, my name is Susan Charli. I am a playwright here in Philly and the CEO of Charli Productions.
Wait, we can't hear you. Your sound went out.
Yeah, because somebody keeps calling me. I'm also a publisher at Small House Publishing, and I am a children's book author. I have 2 children's books, one that I've already written, Princess Nylah and the Journey to the Magic Window, and one that is upcoming this summer, Penny and the Wishing Well. So, hey, everybody. Nice to be here with y'all.
Hey, so we just started with a icebreaker game that we'll play is this or that. So you just say the answer as quick as you can. And hopefully you get the last question right, because if not, then we'll have to end the show. Okay, ready?
Ready, Freddie.
All right.
Ready.
Godfather or Star Wars?
What was the first one?
Star Wars.
Godfather.
All right. Paper or plastic?
Paper.
Netflix, Hulu?
Netflix.
Would you rather be the passenger or the driver?
Passenger.
Driver.
Okay, so when you have your headphones on, are you listening to music or would you rather listen to a podcast?
Music.
Music all day.
Okay. Ariel or Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Ariel.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Invisibility or super strength?
Invisibility.
Super strength, because y'all got to see.
You got to see me. Cosby or a different world?
A different world.
All right, world. This is the money question. Fresh Prince or Martin?
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Martin.
I'm shocked. You're the second person who's ever done it. Rajay always says the Fresh Prince, but she's the first. You're the first guest who's ever said that. That is hilarious.
Look, now I want to be a guest.
That is too funny. Okay, so I mean, you look fabulous, so we can keep the interview going. Typically, we would have to just shut everything down, but we'll just keep it rolling. So let's just get started. So tell us about, your childhood. What did you want to be when you grew up?
So I was born in the West Indies. I was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica. But I grew up here in the States. I've been here since I was about 3 years old. Started school here. What did I want? You know what? I've always wanted to create. I love playing with Barbies. I play Barbies, not really to just do their hair and dress them up, but just creating all types of storylines and scenarios. That was I would be lost in my Barbie world for hours. And so that was something I always enjoyed doing. I love to read. And by the time I got to middle school, I really liked writing. And when I got to high school, I went to Bartram, main building, child, okay? Southwest Philly. And I was in the Arts and Humanities Charter, and so I had the opportunity to join the Society Hill Playhouse Theater Group, and from there, that kind of sparked my love for the performing arts and theater.
Okay, and so what's your family like? Are they entrepreneurs as well? Are you the first one stepping out?
Yeah, it's me, man.
Okay.
They're all in corporate America, that kind of thing. But it is still a family business. So when I started out doing my productions, it was very much a family affair. They're my staff, they're my assistant producers. We made it. It had to be a family thing. So, everybody was very much engaged with it. They worked very closely with me in all of my projects, and I'm super duper grateful and appreciative of that. But no, it's just me.
Okay.
Just me out here.
And so what inspires you? What or who? It could be a person too, or both.
I'm like Issa. I'm room for everybody black.
Right.
That's my thing. I create specifically, and I'm very specific about that, very open about that the art that I create is very specifically for Black people. Mm-hmm. The plays that I write for Black people, the books that I write is for Black people. I am so inspired by Black people. I love being a Black girl. That's my thing. If you follow me on social media, that's the thing that I promote the most is Black excellence, Black beauty, Black love, Black relationship, Black family. I'm inspired by us, and that's the thing that really drives my art.
Yeah, I love that because I remember early on when I was chatting with web designers and things like that, trying to just give them my business. That will come up a lot, so are you excluding other races and so on and so forth? Because I always want chocolate girls. I'm always trying to put the blackest of blackity, chocolatey of chocolate, melanated of all melanated people on everything that I do. So even if it's a hand on the laptop and the hand is light, I'm like, well, the hand is kind of light, and it's not that I'm excluding anyone. I have a lot of white allies, that's what we call them, and they're my friends. And I'm not excluding them as long as they don't mind the Black girl magic that goes down here. That's fine. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm very particular with that, very, very particular. And it's good to hear somebody else saying the same thing. Anybody can read the book, but this is for who it's for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love the little chocolate girls.
Yeah, we're underrepresented in everything. So it's important that we create art for us, and not just for us, but so that, you know, other races of people can get a broad glimpse into our world, into our community, to our families. You know, we always say Black women, the Black experience is not a monolith, right? It's so many different types of experiences, and it's important that we are able to show all of those different perspectives, including representation. We talk about it all the time. It's really, really important that we are represented in every single arena, because when we're represented, we know that our interests are at heart, and we need to make sure that we are facilitating that. So yeah, I'm rooting for everybody Black.
You know what? You see commercials sometimes and you may only see one Black person and 20 people. Everybody else is white, but they're not saying that if you're Black, you can't shop here. They're just saying this is who we are, and you can be a part of it. You can come shop at Walmart if you want to, but this is, you know, what we're about. So I love that. I love that. And I love Issa too. Did you just see? She, I think she's like one of the highest paid like Black producers now.
Oh, it makes my heart.
Yeah, I was so like, yes, $500 camera. I'm like, let me keep going. So I get next chocolate girl looking like me doing the thing. I was like, yes, okay, Issa. So just in general, like in your business, what are some resources that helped you along the way? Like if we could help somebody else listening to save them some time or some frustration, what were the best resources that kept you motivated and just helped propel you in your business?
I think community is really important for Black-owned businesses. Is the thing that sometimes hinders us the most. But if we are able to kind of master that art of community, then it absolutely will assist us. And so for me, coming into like the performing arts world of Philadelphia, you know, just like splashing on the scene one day. And it was important that I connected with other artists. It was important that, you know, I did because I'm an introvert, just by like, that's my nature. I'm an introvert and an extrovert when I need to be, but for the most, I'm a textbook introvert. So being very intentional about connecting to people, and not just connecting to anybody, but connecting to the right people. Those things are absolutely important. I always say that people are our best resource. You can have money and still not have certain opportunities because you don't have the right connections, you don't have the right relationships. And so I always say that to people. People are your best resource. So do people right, treat people right, do good business. And you'll always have people as a resource. And since I was doing a very event-based business, it was really important for me to like make connections to people and, you know, appear to be reputable and all of those kind of things, and provide my audience with a quality experience. That was important to me too. So that when people came to my shows, they knew what they were coming to get. They're like, we're going to get a good show. You know, they're going to be like top notch. It's going to be like giving very Broadway vibes. Like I wanted to, I made sure that was the standard that I set for our company in the very beginning, and it allowed me to make connections with people. So I would always say, connect to people. Our business is the business of people. You know, business isn't about making money. It really is about how we can serve other people. And when we position ourselves to be able to serve and to be able to provide a service, even an experience like coming to a show, you will be successful in your business once you connect to people. All the brands tell you that that's what they spend all their money marketing, not just to sell something. They're marketing to connect to people. That's what all their whole marketing campaign is always. How can we connect to the masses? How can we connect to people? Because once people are connected to you, and they'll be connected to your brand, and then they'll be willing to spend their money. And so people is an absolute resource.
And I'm glad you said experience. You want to provide an experience, because I think that's what's missing with a lot of businesses now. I actually had to call. We were trying to patronize a Black-owned breakfast spot, and every time we go there, the service is always just bad. But the prices are high to the point where they want you to pay for bread. Now, you know, if you go get breakfast, right? you get bread, right? So that's what I mean. And I had to call today, like, we come here a lot and we refer a lot of business. And every time we come here, the service is always bad. And we have to pay for bread. Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? But it's like they don't give you an experience when you go there, because if you feel like you've received an experience, maybe paying for their bread may not be that big of a deal, because you go when everybody's nice, it's clean, everybody's speaking to you, people are courteous. But like I told her on the phone, I was like, I could get breakfast for cheaper and still get like horrible customer service too. So like, I'm not gonna get horrible customer service and you want $12 for some shrimp and grits. Like, sis, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, something gotta give. It's either gotta be an experience, good service, or this needs to be $5, one or the other. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. Like, when you're running a business, to provide an experience to your customers that will make them want to return, that will make them stand out. Because like Crystal, we were talking about when I was trying to patronize businesses, everybody does the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't wear lashes. Like, I don't need any more lip gloss. You know what I mean? Like, I could really make my own shirt. So like, what's the experience here? Like, and then the packaging comes and it's coming in a regular bubble package. It's like, come on, guys, let's do something else. Provide an experience.
Yeah.
I
even had to figure, like, when I published my book, and to be fair, experiences aren't cheap. So to be able to like put together quality experiences, it costs. And people, you have to be willing to really, number one, take your time, to be, number two, very intentional about what it is that you want people to experience with your products or with your service or at your events. And then number three, you have to be willing to invest in your own stuff. And sometimes, we don't hit all of those. And so we're not able to provide an experience. So even when I was publishing my book, I was very specific about making sure I had a good editor. I was very specific about the illustrator that I used. I didn't want to just go to like Fiverr and just have some stranger. I'm like, girl, you got to talk to me. We got to talk through this process. I was very specific about what I wanted. I wanted a certain size book. I wanted the colors to pop a certain way. When it was time for us to ship out all of our orders, I got like custom this and custom that and tape and boxes and all kinds of stuff, because I wanted people. And a lot of the parents, when they hit me up, like, oh my God, like we opened the book and it was like all of this stuff, and it was like a whole experience that they had. And you would think that, oh, you're writing a children's book, just ship it out to the people and let them have it. It's like, no, because I'm going to write more books. And I'm going to set the bar when I do this one that people haven't expected. And sometimes that's hard, because you'd be like, all right, everybody expected me to do all this extra stuff. But you want to do that because you're going to gain returning customers, right? Because I had people, I bought your book for my daughter, and it was such an experience when we opened it, and we got stickers and all this other stuff, and everything was so intentional. So I bought it for my granddaughter, and I bought it for my next door neighbor, and I bought 5 books for my classroom, and all of those kind of things. So creating an experience with your product, your service, or your event is really, really, really important, but it takes time. And sometimes we just like to get things out there, get it done, or we just like to be able to say, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur," or "I just launched my lash line," and there was no thought or intentionality put behind what that was going to look like. What's the next step going to be? Okay, you launched it, but now what?
But you know what? Even something like as simple as my pleasure, like when you go to Chick-fil-A. Like, that is something that you will remember. You remember the fact that they say my pleasure, that they're polite. So even if you can't provide a huge experience, just common courtesy. Like, when you reach around me to grab the phone, say, excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, you'll remember that. Like, everybody was so nice when I went in there. That's something that you will remember. Like, it's in a bad neighborhood, and maybe the shrimp was overcooked, but everybody was so nice and they were so sweet, and they gave me an extra this, and they gave me a thank you card, and it was a lollipop. You know what I mean? Just doing something extra to go above and beyond, because realistically, it does seem like everybody's doing the same thing. So when I come across entrepreneurs like yourself, and there are a couple other people that we've been meeting that are doing some things differently, you know, it makes you stand out. So even if you couldn't afford to do all of that, just the fact that you're writing a children's book and you put this in it, you know what I mean? Just starting off. So I think that's very important. Crystal or Rajay, did anybody else have any other questions before I move on to the next question or comment?
My question's probably something for later, but it's more on your book. I know you said your first book was a child's book. What made you go in that direction, you know, instead of going, you know, for an adult book or a self-help book or something like that?
So my first book, I started out when I was writing plays. My thing was like period pieces. So my first play was like set in the 1950s. I did another one set during the Harlem Renaissance. Like that was just my thing. I love the costumes and the time period and music and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually, because I have 3 daughters, and you know, they suggested they talk a lot, so it was a conversation about representation, and the suggestion was made that I write a children's production. I had never done that before, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. And I didn't know that that would be like my niche, because that thing just like poured out. I was like, oh, and we did it. And it was really successful. Like I had never even considered kind of venturing into the whole children's business, never. And we did the shows and they kept selling out. And then we would add like different products and different things. And I realized that parents really, even as much as the kids, really enjoyed the representation that they were seeing. Like they loved it. I mean, we did a show and we had like a product table and we was like, oh no, the products are for, you know, intermission, child. Them kids was like, I want one of this. And I realized there's a very big market for African-American characters in children's literature and in products. And so I did the show a couple times. I think we ran like 7 shows over 3 years. And after I wrapped the very last show, it was like, you need to write this book finally, because it was in the back of my mind that I wanted to kind of expand the character. I wanted to solidify it as a book so that the other things that I wanted to do with it, you know, y'all can't steal my stuff. I have a book. It's copyrighted. It's published. It's all the things. And so at the end of 2019, the fall of 2019, we wrapped our final show, and I immediately reached out to my illustrator and started working on my book. And it's been such an amazing, the whole process. I absolutely love it. And so initially I wasn't even going to start a publishing company. I was going to go with 2 different companies, and they just couldn't give me what I wanted. And I decided to start my own company. And from then the ball just keep on rolling. So, you know, I started writing another book, and I have
Oh, we're not able to hear you.
Can't hear you yet. Okay, there you go.
Am I on? Sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody is really is it Saturday night?
But they saw you on the podcast. They said they got to hit you up.
Right.
So yeah, that's what made me write a children's book, is because I had started out writing plays, and then I wrote a children's play, and then I turned it into a children's book, and it's just been magic ever since then.
Man, that sounds amazing. I'm gonna write me a book. I don't know what's gonna say yet, but I'm gonna go to you first. Like, hey, where do we start? Where's the beginning?
Do it. I'm here. I'm here to help.
Crystal, did you have a comment or a question?
I love Susan. That's all I wanted to say. I don't even think you remember when you met me. I met you through our girl Leslie when she started your play Blue.
Yeah. Did I meet you at True United? Yes, right? That's
Yep.
Yeah. I love y'all, like my favorite internet people. I'll be like, hey sis.
Do you find writing when you're starting off, do you find it hard to formulate, like, I call these, for me, I call them brain hurricanes when I'm getting everything out, because it's like, soon as I start, you know how a hurricane builds up and then I'm in the center of the eye of the storm and then everything's twirling, and then when I finish looking at the paper, I'm like, what just happened? Do you find that when you're writing, you have the moments where everything is poured out and then you have to make sense of it, like after a hurricane leaves, you got to call in FEMA?
Yeah, I'm reading this book. I just joined a book club and we're reading this book called Big Magic. And it's talking about like how inspiration happens with creative people. It's you might want to grab it too. It's a really good read. I don't remember the author's name, but she wrote the book Eat, Love, Pray, I think was the name of her book. It talks about like how inspiration comes. Like we have these moments or these bursts, and it's really talking about how to kind of work with inspiration when it happens, as opposed to trying to force it or trying to manipulate it. But it's like this ebb and flow with artistic minds and how inspiration works with us. And so it's helped me too to not feel like you feel a little crazy, like, okay, I'm writing, and then the next day I'm like, but like how to work with and partner with inspiration when it happens. Like my second book, I had started it. I was so sure that I knew, like, okay, and for like months, nothing. And then I went to the laundromat one day and wrote the entire book, and I was like, I'm done. And so like as creatives, yeah, like people think we wake up every day and just start creating things, like things just no, inspiration comes to us when it comes, and it kind of pours out when it pours out, and we have to learn how to partner with that and not like force it, and not be so hard on ourselves when we're not able to kind of conjure it up when we want to. Like we discipline yourself writing so that you can grow as a writer, but you know when those moments of inspiration come, to just kind of let it pour out of you. So that's what I do.
Okay. Do you have any regrets?
Oh yeah, child, I do.
Anything you do differently as far as your business wise, like failures and lessons that you've learned?
Yeah. It was really important to me, like I said, because I hadn't been a part of the Philly artistic community in a certain capacity, and I was kind of coming onto the scene. I was like, I have to make sure that I make a splash. You know what I mean? Like I need y'all to see, like, I'm here, I'm showing up, and I'm present, and I'm for real. And that, it was a lot of money, right? And I wanted to create an experience for the people that I worked with as well. I learned so much from that aspect about working with other people, working with other artists. I learned a lot how to set boundaries. That was one of my big lessons, because I wanted it to be such a good experience for them, because you're talking about Black producers and Black writers and Black directors, and sometimes you get a really bad rap. It was ghetto and this and that, and I wanted my company to be known for having a certain quality. And so I was spoiling everybody, and like they would come to rehearsals, and we got lunch and we got dinner, we got this and da. And people got like really familiar, and having to experience that, I learned by the time I got down the line in my shows, baby, we put those boundaries in the beginning. And it was just like, you're going to work with me because you know that I do good work, not because I baby you, not because I'm trying to win your affections or your respect. If you work with me, it has to be because you respect me. Number two, I'm paying y'all. And so I am allowed to have certain requirements. I grew in that sense over the years, in a way that if I would have known all of that stuff in the beginning, I would have approached my relationships with the people that I worked with a lot differently. I wanted to be everybody's friend. I'm coming to y'all birthdays and your baby showers, and because I wanted that sense of community. And I learned, baby, because then when you get back in the environment where you're the boss, it's a conflict because of the relationship that you kind of have with people. And so I learned how to create boundaries. That was a big lesson for me. It's a lesson that I'm still learning, because I'm the type of person who, you know, you just be like, you know what, it's fine, whatever. Just no, I'm learning how to say what I need, say what I want, say what I used to accept things like I pay somebody for something. It wasn't what I wanted, but I didn't feel like the conflict. So I'd be like, you know, whatever. Now, child, I don't even want that. And if you're gonna give me what I want, you're gonna give me my money. Like you know, you grow and become more comfortable and confident in, you know, expressing, articulating what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what the outcomes that you want. Those are a lot of the things I learned over the years of doing business.
So making sure you're setting your boundaries early on.
Oh, yes.
If there was anyone that you could, you know, talk to, have a conversation with over coffee or interview, who would that person be?
Ooh. Who, probably any of the female directors that's killing it right now. So like I think her name is Misha Green. She directed Lovecraft Country. She does not even, she barely does social media at all. I would love to talk to her. Any Issa, any of the female directors, I would love to be able to sit down and have like a whole director brunch with them.
Mm-hmm. Me too, especially Issa. Yeah. I want to talk to Issa so bad, just because, like, I just like her story.
Yeah.
You know, just starting where you are, and now look how far you've come. And she always seemed like she was still true to herself. Like, she's
Chandra, I want to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
very regular.
Out here. Doing their thing. I would love to talk to them about how they navigate the business, not really the creative side of it, but just like how they navigate the industry. I would love to talk to them.
Okay. And what's the best compliment you've ever received?
Best compliment. I think the quality thing, in terms of, that's been the most consistent. And so whether I was doing like a show or publishing or writing my own stuff, is that people always expect good quality. And I know how much work and effort and intentionality I put behind things. So to know that that's being translated, I'll be like, thank you. Thank you.
That's how I feel. Like, I'll be sitting there like, man, I'm sitting here preaching group economics and let's work together and I'll help your business. I'm like, nobody understands. And then one more person will send me an inbox and be like, I really love your group. You guys have helped me so much. I'm like, bingo, I got one. I'm back in action again. Now I'm like, let's go. I'm all motivated and hype. It only takes one. I'm like, okay, you got it. Okay, cool.
I feel my cells. I hear, you have a new cell. Okay. I see a new city pop up on, because it tells me when people actually visit my website. So I see a new city. I was like, well, I've never seen Tennessee before. I'm reaching Tennessee.
Right.
I'm doing something now. How can I get that to convert? I'm with it. I could definitely understand that part.
Yeah, then you put your sunglasses on. You like, okay, it's time to, you know,
Barrowing hood coming up.
Yeah, you a boss out here in these streets. You just make $12. Let's go.
Exactly. I don't think people understand. Like, in small business, it's the little wins that just like brighten your day. Like, I don't care if I'm not making $1,000 a month. Like, I got that one sell. I'm gonna multiply that one day. Like, that's gonna be bigger sell one day. I love it.
Any other questions or comments, guys?
I really am serious about writing these books because, like you said, the open market for people that look like me. My son's getting into reading, and I can't find books to show him himself. But I suck at grammar and I suck at like spelling. So for you, you said you've been writing since you said middle school, I believe. For someone who's not so good at there are avenues for us. Like, can we just say this?
Yeah, in publishing, you just need a good editor, right? If you're a good storyteller, then that's and really when it comes on to like writing, especially children's books, being a good storyteller is the main thing. You get a good editor, and because you're not the person editing. A good editor, they're going to copy, edit, they're going to proofread, they're going to fix the grammar, they're going to make sure that the story arc is what it needs to be. You just have to have a good enough idea in terms of a story, and then be good at telling that story, and then you pay somebody else to make it market ready. So I hear a lot of people say that, like, that's always their fear. Like, I'm not really the best at. You ain't gotta be. That is not a requirement.
Yeah, that's me. My best friend gets on. She hates it. It's like chalk. I was like, I don't know what it is. It's just I spell the word the way I hear it. I'm like, technically it should be like knife. Come on now. Y'all know that K should not be there. Easy for it. So I'm that type of person, but it's good to hear that because I got the idea, and now just I got to figure out how to tell that story. I might just let my son do it.
Yeah, a good editor will get that right on together.
Chris, do you have anything?
If you had a billboard, what would it say? Do you have a billboard?
No.
Listen, I was thinking the same thing. She probably already had a billboard.
I do not. What would my billboard say? Oh my God. Probably the same tag that I use for my play and for my books, which is Find Your Magic. That would be it. That's all. That's been my thing, my kind of mantra. This whole idea of finding the thing that makes you special and unique, and the thing that you were put in this earth to do, like finding that is so important. And so many people, like, you have a job, you have a career, you have a husband, you have children, you have all of these things, you may have money, and they still just don't have a sense of purpose. And I believe that sense of purpose, that thing will hold you. It'll keep you motivated. It will keep you going. It will make you feel like your days on this earth count. And so that will probably be my thing. Find your magic. What's your magic? What's your thing? What's your thing that you do it so well that it looks like magic? Like, how does she do that? How does he do that? Find that thing, and it makes your days better days. Okay.
Now I have to find my magic. I don't think I know what my magic is.
Girl, you know what your magic is. You're doing.
You know.
I don't think I'm.
It's right there in the corner. There's on that side. There it goes. I'm pointing out the logo. That's your magic, girl.
It's my magic. Okay. All right. So tell everybody tell us where they can find you, how they can buy your books, what you're working on. I didn't hear you. I know you do. You actually help people publish books as well, right? You have an actual publishing company. But just talk to us about your books, where they can find them, and how, if they, need your assistance, how they can go about doing
what we need to bring to you when we're ready too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So my books, my publishing company, all of that. I'm not producing, of course, COVID, and so we've done some virtual stuff, but we haven't produced a show, and we don't know when we're going to be able to get back to producing shows at Charli Productions. But in the meantime, you can find me at smallhousepublishing.com. That's where you can purchase my books. That's where you can book a consultation if you're interested in writing a book of your own. If you would like to have coaching through publishing, or you would like our company to actually publish your work, that is the place that you go, smallhousepublishing.com. I have a new book coming out this summer, Penny and the Wishing Well, and then we are restocking my first book, Princess Nylah and a Journey to the Magic Window. We're just moving into a new office space the first week of April. And so we're going to have like a lot of workshops and stuff like that coming up over the summer and into the fall. So I'm really, really excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to like dive in.
It sounds exciting. So Rajay, she is our podcast manager, but she also has her own business. So we want to make sure that we give her a shout out. Rajay, tell them about your business.
Well, my nighttime business. My daytime is, of course, podcast manager. But I have it's complicated.com, which is a clothing brand. It just has so much hope for the person that's looking to create new style. We're not really into the trends. We're into setting the trends. So if you're looking for something new, something different, definitely check us out. It's complicated, ITSKOMPLICATED.com. Styles on social media.
Okay, and then we have Miss Crystal, the connector. Are you able to tell us about your business, Crystal? Well, she is Go Beautiful with 2Ls.com. She has a skincare brand that is focused on melanated skin. Is she there? No. Okay. So check her out, Go Beautiful with 2Ls.com. Like you saw in the beginning, you don't want ashy skin. You want to make sure you're hydrated. No carcinogens. It's a vegan-owned brand, so make sure you check her out and support the business. We also have a fundraiser, an ongoing fundraiser that we're doing for a new program that we're trying to launch to help our youth with intellectual disabilities gain employment. Something more than just being a greeter at Walmart. We want them to be able to have tech skills and life skills so that when their parents are no longer here, that they are self-sufficient. Crystal has a nonverbal son with autism, and I believe my twins are on the spectrum. And so we just want to make sure that when we're no longer here to care for them, that our children are taken care of. So if you want to donate to the program, you can go to bestiesbusiness.org. There's a PayPal link there where you can donate. If you have any resources for technology, office equipment, laptops, we'd love to collab with you. This is definitely another one of our passion projects. Besties in Business is not just a Facebook group. We are a nonprofit, and we have a lot of community initiatives that we got behind on because of COVID. So this is one of our first ones that we're doing. It's near and dear to our hearts, so make sure you check us out. bestiesbusiness.org to donate, and podcast manager at bestiesinbiz.com to be on the show. We also have a new show that I'll be producing. It's Rajay's Talk Show. So we have 2 episodes in. It's called It Is What It Is, and I will let her explain what the show is about, when you can catch the show. You can also catch it at bestiesinbiz.com. It'll be located there for now. So tell us.
All right, I'm so excited. The new podcast, It Is What It Is. We are bringing you pretty much news from around the world, letting you know what's going on. We're not sugarcoating it because, again, the only thing sugarcoated is Crystal's daughter's candy, which y'all need to check that out as well. So definitely check us out Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Where every Thursday we're telling you what it is.
Yep. And you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So thank you guys for checking us out, and have a good evening.
Bye.